back to my channel. Kembali lagi dengan gue nyoba gaming akhir dulu. Di sini kakak menunggu turnamen Mobile Legends in the world in Tune. Kita saksikan ya guys ya.
Howdy, Chiefs, and welcome back to the first monthly finals of the 2025 Clash of Clans World Championship. 1,255 teams competed in our open bracket, and now only 8 remain. There's $1 million prize to claim this year, and this is the first round of Major Combat. My name's Woody, and I'm so pleased to introduce my fellow co-casters. Let's go down the line first with Carbon Fizz.
Thank you so much, Woody. It's a pleasure to be back here for the Clash of Clans World Championship in 2025. Just like you mentioned, $1 million prize pool. We're kicking off this year. It's going to be so excited. Itzy, are you ready?
Okay,
I'm so ready. I'm ready to see what is the meta looking like, what attack are we going to witness, what type of faces are we going to witness. It's going to be a really, really fun start for this new season. And I think Bash, you are ready as well.
Oh, I'm so excited it's the 2017 season. We got some of our top teams back, but also we have something brand new for this season. We have a whole new series of tournaments. This is completely separate from the World Championship. We have the Town Hall Cups. This is going to start with Town Hall 9, then Town Hall 12, and a Town Hall 15 Cup. These are more designed for those mid-level clashes that aren't quite maxed out. They're going to take place in June, July, and August, with registration being May 8th through the 10th for the Town Hall 9 Cup, June 9th and 10th for the Town Hall 12 Cup, and July 7th and 8th for the Town Hall 15 Cup. It's going to follow a ladder phase in the top 128 in the double elimination bracket, similar to what we're doing, with huge prizes of upwards of $8,250 at the top level. So something brand new this year, letting some of you guys that are not quite max players get involved. Woody, that's some exciting news, man.
It sure is, Bash. You know, I was eating a slice of my 10th anniversary Clash of Clans cake, and I figured, I guess players who have not had quite as much experience in the game need to have their chance to shine. We need an up-and-comers amateur league that gives opportunity to rise up to the pro levels. This is exactly what we needed to provide that stepping stone into the pro scene. So the Town Hall Cups are going to be taking place this summer. Definitely get registered if you are an up-and-coming Clash of Clans pro and want to compete with the best later on. But this event today and tomorrow is the main event. That's where the primary prizes are going to be awarded. That's where the biggest golden tickets are going to be handed out. Let me toss it over to Carbon to explain today's roadmap.
Absolutely. So the roadmap for this year is a little bit different than from the years past. We will see the traditional golden ticket being given out to the first place team in each of the monthly qualifiers from April all the way to August. But where things change comes in for the silver ticket, because no more like last year, if you come in second place, there was a silver ticket. But that is not the case this year, because every time you play in a monthly qualifiers and the monthly finals, you're going to be able to get points for points leaderboard. Whoever's in first place for the points leaderboard will be given a golden ticket. But then 2 through 9th place will then be invited to the last chance qualifier, and whoever wins that gets the golden ticket. And of course, the final one being given to the Chinese qualifier, totaling 8 teams that are going to be getting a golden ticket and competing in the World Championship. While last year there was only 6, so it's incredible to see more teams coming back here for the World Championship later at the end of this year. But Itsu, how is the
No,
format going to
no.
unfold?
Ada sini
Yeah,
menonton
we're going to take a look
Champion
at this
of
specific
World,
weekend because we
the
have
Clash
8
of
teams
Clans.
joining
Kita
this
bisa
weekend.
melihat
They're going to be
top
in an
global
8-team double elimination bracket. And
bermain
they're going to battle it out in 5 versus 5 clan wars, where all of those
the
attacks are
world.
going to be played in hard mode. As well, for some viewers, this might be confusing. What exactly is the hard mode? This is pretty much a special tournament mode where there's different multipliers to make things more challenging for those top players, which means defenses are dealing 20% more damage, defending heroes
Dasar ya
have their
guys,
stats boosted
biar
for
kalian
20%
mendapatkan
hit points
ilmu-ilmu
and damage,
bermanfaat
but
guys.
attacking heroes, for
Dengan
example,
kalian
have
nonton
10%
channel
less
ini, kalian
damage,
bisa
less hit
menonton
points, and their
live.
equipments, we know those really strong hero abilities, they are capped in their power as well. The common equipments are capped at level 15, while the epic ones are capped at level 21. So overall, the attackers are going to be challenged with this hard mode, and it's going to be really, really fun for us to watch. But now, since we have learned about how this weekend looks like, we should take a look at how the bracket is looking like.
Yeah, this bracket is stacked with teams
Navi,
from last year's
oh,
World Championship.
Navi
We have 5
guys,
of the 6
sekarang ada
teams, with the exception
Navi,
being the one
DC
Chinese team.
only,
Remember, they're playing a
Action,
Chinese qualifier, but we
DC
have all of
Grow.
our world teams back. We got
Navi
Disney
ini
going up
terkenal
against
ini.
only exceeding our first matchup today. And then we're
apa?
going to have another Disney team, Disney
A
Group, playing
tim
against Navi. And we have our
banyak dari game
defending
Navi,
world
ada
champion,
Mobile Legends, ada
Synchronic
Dota,
playing
ada
against Team Electros, and finally a
Put
juggernaut
PB
matchup
yang
of
juga ada
Shrine
dulu
Gaming
terus.
versus Vatic
Kayaknya ini
Esports.
kayak RRG nggak masuk
Truly
ya
gonna
guys
be
ya.
an amazing bracket, and
DC
remember,
Crew.
it is going to be double
Yang sering
elimination
main
here
di
throughout the
Navi.
weekend. We're gonna play
Navi itu
8
bisa
matches
dari
today,
berbagai
and we
tim
will
dia.
eliminate 2 of these teams. So a lot of clash to be played here, Woody, but it's definitely going to be an exciting weekend.
Right, you are, Bash, and the teams that I'm keeping the closest eye on are going to be Synchronic. The defending world champions are going to be going up first against Team Electros in our upper bracket. The second team that I'm looking at is Navi. They were actually victorious over Synchronic in this year's Worlds warm-up, so it really is a toss-up that could go either way. We wouldn't get a chance to see those two teams face off until later on in the upper bracket, but with this double elimination format, there is every chance in the world
Itu tuh
for
gede
all
guys
three of
yang
these
ini
teams to
lagi
make it to the
turnamen
grand
CWL.
final, to try to be that one
Kalian nyoba
with the
masih
golden
main
ticket
di
to guarantee
CWL,
a
bisa
placement
nonton
in the
gameplay
World
mereka biar kalian
Championship
bisa
at the
dapat
end
ilmu
of this year.
gimana cara kalian nge-tag,
With that bracket out of the way,
cara
let's see what they're
menangani.
competing for this month. Carbon Fit.
$1
Lumayan
million
nih.
prize for the
15
entire tournament
ribu
this year.
dolar.
And this month alone, $15,000 for first
Sekitar
place and that
berapa ya?
golden ticket.
11.000.
So each monthly finals is going to be $39,000. And then remember at the top of the show, we talked about the lower town halls. Well, that totals just under $50,000 for that. World finals is $700,000. So much money is going to be given out throughout this entire year. It's going to be exciting, but this is what's going to be given out at the end of tomorrow. And of course, seeing that team who's going to be playing in the World Championship later this year. But hearing that, we have made some predictions here. So, Itsu, let's take a look at those.
Yeah, we have went through the first 4 matches and have shared our predictions with the production team, and I feel like the interesting thing for me is for sure the second match, because why this match is so interesting, because it is
225
the
juta
first
guys
team
untuk
versus the
tingkat
last
1.
team in
Lumayan
hit
itu.
rate. And if you would think that Navi is the team with the
Berarti
highest hit rate,
Navi.
you're wrong.
Oh.
Navi in this competition from the
Navi
second stage has
terus
actually the lowest hit rate,
division
while
kedua.
on the other side with Dizzy Group, they have the highest.
Group.
But at the same time, Navi, we all know, they have this clutch factor. So I think this is going to be a
Navi
really, really
dapat
intense match, and I feel like it
3
shows with our really even
permintaan,
50-50 split
3
here. But what I think is was
pilihan
interesting with the
juri,
first
guys.
match, Bash, you picked a different team than all of us. What happened there?
Well, you know me, Itsu. I just gotta be difficult and go against the grain a little bit. But it's a whole new season. The hard mode is super hard. So anything could happen here. But guys, you saw our predictions right there, right? We could be wrong, we could be right, but you guys can actually get some predictions in as well and earn some in-game prizes. If you head over to event.supercell.com/Clash of Clans, You can make your predictions throughout the whole weekend and earn some amazing prizes for your account. But make sure you guys go check that out. Again, it's event.supercell.com/Clash of Clans. But let's go ahead and let's get ready for this first matchup. Woody, Carbon, take it away, fellas.
Thank you very much, Bash, and it is our honor to introduce the first match of this World Finals qualifier. We have Dizzy and Oli XC.
These two teams are ready to go to kick this one off. So let's take a look at Dizzy's lineup. That's gonna be
Dizzy
here
lineup,
in the
so
very first
Dizzy
match. And we've
the
got so
string
many
of
familiar faces. If you are used to the Clash of Clans fantasy, we have
Dynamax,
Cynthia, Hawk,
Flux.
a new star here, part of this roster, which is Mask. He has plenty of experience and competing in person. Stage experience, so
Ada orang
he's
Cina,
ready
Hawk.
to shine. But we also will have Fluxy and Dark
Pasti
Star.
selalu dengan
So Dizzy
logam.
is
Game
ready
rata-rata
to
orang Cina
go.
yang
They made it through the upper bracket. They didn't
yang main,
lose
guys.
last weekend in the monthly qualifier, so they're looking to ride that momentum. As we're getting a little glimpse into their webcams, as we will be watching and seeing all the reactions to every single one of the attacks today.
See how
Yes, we will,
The
Carbon
star.
Fan. You can see big smiles on Fluxy's face, a little bit of a yawn.
dulu kan
Dark
ada
Star
yang
showing earlier that he was just not
berbase
even
malam
worried
ini
about this combat.
berbase
We are
biasa ya
getting
guys
some
ya.
Great focus on those devices though, as
Yuk,
the
kita
fingers are going
lihat
to start
gameplaynya
tapping and
seperti
flying
apa.
all over the screen to
Mereka
get
sudah
those
mulai
pixel-perfect
mensajikan
deployments, those seconds perfectly measured. Let's go ahead and hear directly from Dizzy themselves though.
Hello, my name is Dizzy. My player name is Mask. This is the first event of the season, and we're feeling great about qualifying for the monthly finals. It's been a tough run, honestly, in stage 2, but we could have not started any better. Work is not done yet. Honestly, we don't feel pressure anymore. We've been competing for so long time that pressure is not a huge component in it. We got what it takes, and we just play like it's any other day of the season.
Just like any other day, you heard him say it. He is so experienced and feeling so confident going into this first match, Carbon Fin. What do you make of Dizzy's preparation for today's event?
Well, Dizzy's been known to kind of try to be in secret, not let anyone know, because that's what they did in the previous year when they were competing in the World Championship. They were kind of trying to keep everything under the radar and not let their attacks be known. So I'm curious to see, will they come in with different stuff? Were they trying to just make it to the finals, not be kind of coming out with anything crazy, and then bring it all out and try to get that golden ticket? So Dizzy can literally surprise us, but if any of you remember last year, they were one of the first teams eliminated in the World Championship, and they want to turn that one around. But let's go and introduce the next team that Dizzy is going to be taking here, which is Only Exceed, and their roster is looking fierce.
Oh yeah, it is. They are prepped and ready for combat. Let's read them off. We've got Hiraya, Luca, Kazuma, Invincible.
Lupa Akashuma, PC bukan semua Jepang berarti hero ya. Luka Only Exceed, kayaknya Jepang semua ini. Berarti Jepang sama US mungkin. Karena ini enggak.
この大会で心配していることは、残っているチームが全員強いチームなので、いつも通りのパフォーマンスできるかどうか心配しています。今回の大会が公式戦、今年初めての大会になるんですけど、
Ini dia melakukan
考
pertama.
えすぎず楽しんでゲームをプレイすることっていうのがいいスタート
Dia berpikir bahwa ini adalah permainan yang amal yang bagus ya guys ya.
今回の大会に
Apa
向けて
strategimu
具体的な戦略は
yang tuh
言えないんで
spesifik
すけど、
buat
やはりまあ 通のチームよりもやっぱり実績がまだまだ少ないので、チャレンジャーということで
Buat kon the
何
challenge
かこう対策を取るときとか大胆にするようにしています。
yang melakukan yang terbaik. Grab untuk champion.
So you heard
Buka file
it from
Kazuma,
them,
guys.
Carbon Fin, a little bit more in terms of the nerves
Early
for going into this
exit.
match than Dizzy.
Dizzy.
And yet they could flip the script
Player
and become
in
one of the
MQ
favorites if they
2024
can surpass
stage
this
3
terribly
5
difficult team.
in
Looking to
2025.
exceed is their
Player
tagline
in
now, and with Luka and
MQ
Kazuma again
2024.
showing up for their first monthly final appearance.
Lalu
They've
taka
only
dari
been
MQ
in stage 3
2024
in
stage
2023 and advanced to a monthly
3
qualifier
pada
in
posisi
2024.
ketiga di
But a monthly
2023.
final is a different beast altogether,
Penempatan stage
Carbon
new.
Fin. It is so tough when you've got
Taker.
the eyes of the world on your attack.
Yeah, every single one of the attacks here in the monthly final will be showcased. We'll see it all, because when you're playing the monthly qualifier, your attacks are only seen if the streamers
The
are
monthly
jumping into
finale
your plan to be showing them.
appearances.
So now extra pressure, plus you're
Looking to
on the
exit.
webcam on the stream. So it's kind of like playing in person, but there is that different feeling when you play in person with the lights on you, getting on a stage. This, you are at home in the comfort of where you normally play Clash of Clans.
2 menit
But
lagi, guys.
it's still a huge pressure situation of trying to win it. And leading off this with the very first match, too, to try to win and get through in the upper bracket and keep that best chance moving forward to try to get that very first ticket. Because teams that are able to get a golden ticket don't have to worry about trying to secure it later on this year, as it's going to get harder and harder as those golden tickets are claimed.
We did hear, though, that teams that win golden tickets this year will be able to continue competing in future months. So an interesting twist on prior rules from last year's. They'll still be able to stay in the combat, earn even more leaderboard points, more bragging rights, and establish dominance early on. But you got to win this first month if you want to be at the head of the pack, and you got to win this first battle if you want to stay in the upper bracket. Dizzy and Only Exceed have a lot riding on this next match. Will the underdog surpass this big championship team, or is Dizzy going to be able to stay on top and keep that #1 seed, Carbon Fin? We'll find out in less than an hour, as the battle should be starting in just under a couple of minutes.
Yeah, it will be starting soon, and I am curious because us casters made the prediction. All of us but Bash. Bash was the only one to pick Only Exceed. I'm curious what the community was picking for this match here as well. I wonder if it's similar to how we picked, or if it's going to be completely different. Once we're able to take that, we'll be able to get a sneak peek on that soon, because it will be telling in this very first match here, as Only Exceed is looking to prove people wrong. But Dizzy is going to be maybe attacking first. We'll have to see, as the first attack is going to be coming in very soon. And again, this is double elimination. You did say that teams could be competing in multiple monthly finals to get more points, but really at the end of the day, why they would want to do that is so that they could earn more of the prize money, right? Why not? Because previous years you couldn't do that. This time, now you can, and take home more money as you continue to try to compete. And really, at the end of the day, you could eliminate some of your future opponents and maybe prevent them from making it to World.
Yeah, it's a fantastic twist on the previous years and gives a little bit
Kamu
more
sudah
opportunity for
main.
storylines to develop as teams return to the fray. It keeps them fresh, it keeps them fierce, it keeps them in the combat, as opposed to sitting back on the sidelines watching as other teams seek to qualify. So now with Dizzy prepped and ready, we see them starting to look at these bases, getting their scouting on. They have precious few minutes to figure out where they're going to attack first. And already Nairobi's in the action, Carbon Fin.
All right, it looks like we jump straight into it with
Naga
the Royal
15.
Champion in his charge. As the Royal Champion goes straight in towards this bottom side, working through this multi. Rerouting that RC to go into the core to grab the spitters, the poison spell, and even towards this town hall.
She is making a mad dash toward the core and needs to take this town hall down. Slow down a little bit from the tornado trap. She's getting spun around into a giant bomb. It's going to blow up. She's going to make her way back in. It's going to try to get even more damage off. Can she finish it off? No, the town hall stands, Carbon Fin.
Oh, the town hall is there as the dragons are down with the warden. Going to move in towards the town hall as the king is placed to move his way up to the top side into the enemy royal champion. But now invest that warden ability, but still has the blimp to use.
That town hall takedown is so incredibly important early on. It secures the first star in the attack. And for anyone who's new to the esports scene, you want as many stars as you can get. The second one comes from destroying 50% of the base, and the third and final crucial star comes from destroying the entirety of it. But a 100% hit rate is not going to be coming as often as we had seen it in the past. We've seen hit rates actually plummet down into the 20s as of stage 2. And it looks like Nairomi is going to be coming short of that triple. His dragons are withering away on the final edges of this base and slowing down, slowly but surely reaching that 70% mark. But the Grand Warden is not going to be long for this world. A final few shots from our minion prince will tear a couple more structures down. Sneezy spits out a few more shots anjir. But Nairomi is left in a lurch, Carbon Fin. That is the end of the attack.
77% 2-star to kick it off with that Royal Champion Invis charge and a heavy Invis charge at that. But now to get the entire value that he was looking for. But now that's going to be setting the tone for this match for only Exceed. And can Dizzy step above that? Which, if they are able to, they're able to take the lead. And they're looking
Sekelas
at
pro
trying to
player
do a
nata
three-star
cek kita
to
loro
start this one and
lagu
really
berharap
push it
apa
on Exceed.
It would be incredibly
Mereka
difficult,
ada pro
especially
player,
as these
Cok.
bases are just getting so
Saya
well
nggak rata.
designed at the top levels. I mentioned it earlier, and I want to stress this again. We saw in April 2025, throughout the overall experience in qualifying for Worlds, a hit rate, that means 3 stars, of over 50%, in fact 56%. But when you look at the stage 2 statistics, that drops like a rock, down to 20.64%. 3 stars are precious and rare at this level, and so difficult to pull off, especially in hard mode. Hawk is going to be the first to try to make it happen for his team. He's brought 13 invisibility spells for this Spirit Walk. We see the Royal Champion charging on in now.
Mesti invisible. Invisible ya nggak bikin
Burning
benar.
down defenses all around her and popping that ability early on as well is another fantastic way to keep the DPS up for this early stab, Carbon Fin.
Been a very interesting first 2 attacks with the Invis Charge and Dragons. The Royal Champion Invis Charge is a very common attack that we're seeing in the monthly qualifiers. But really, we've seen, at least I saw when I was covering it, a lot more Root Rider attacks than Dragons. But it's back-to-back Dragon attacks here, sticking to the air, as this RC is really charging her way through towards the monolith, and nice making that multi-invisible so that the boots will finish it off and then continue securing the monolith here.
Brilliant strike. She went from all the way on the far right corner of the base to tear down all of the defenses on the left side corner.
Mancing.
Hawk got extraordinary value from that strike and
Apa
deploying now
itu?
a siege barracks over on the right side to start the second stage of this attack. And right you are, that Spirit Walk charging in with an invisible
Sabaran
Royal Champion is an
masuk atas
extraordinarily
nak-
effective way to set up for an
Rata-rata
attack
sih.
and often gets followed up with either Mass Dragons or one of Itsu's favorites, the Root
Jadi buat kalian
Riders.
udah
In
ningkatin
fact, Hawk is now
guys.
following up on the opposite
Ketimbang
side.
kalian ningkatin
Top side,
darat,
to get an Inferno Dragon to try to get a
lebih
little bit of
efektif
chip
naga
damage
sih
done
emang
up on
ketimbang
top,
darat.
while Hawk's main force is going to be charging into the core, ready to pop that Eternal Tome and protect these dragons when the damage is coming in hottest.
As that Warden ability is protecting the dragons, the King and some P.E.K.K.A.s with the super minions from the Siege Barracks have come through the bottom
Lifesteal
side.
sound.
They're looking to clear that as the dragons.
Itu yang baru
Minion
dia pakai
Prince-
lifesteal sama
Minion Prince is
pelindung
also
guys.
moving up to the top and waiting to use his ability. As
Baru
there's
bedanya
another
pakai
Inferno
apa ya?
Dragon, sends that to the far left side to try to
Apa
help
sih ini?
route these dragons. It's looking pretty good, especially with the
Rata,
hero
ya.
ability of the King, that goes off,
Oh.
skips across,
Oh, yeah.
but it's now up to this minion
This
Prince to
film
get the
rata,
perfect
ya.
timing of the ability to slow things down.
Defending King is going to get no value, unable to chop anything that's in the sky, and the Grand Warden is
This is
figuring out
Raptors
without much
mungkin.
difficulty at all. Fires off the orb from the Minion Prince, and there's not much base left. He's already passed the 77% mark that Nairobi
This is
set,
Raptors.
and it looks like it's gonna be a triple. Plenty of time to knock this base down. again.
100%
Soaring
anjir.
above the competition and with a big smile on his face, we have seen our first 3-star of the day.
And Dizzy coming in strong with a 3-star.
kuncinya
And
di
that
sana.
is
Royal.
why they have been the favorites
Royal
coming
dia
in here.
penggunaan.
And that is a great way to start off this match as Hawk leads the charge with the triple. Now going to be putting the pressure on to only exceed. They're going to have to be better, quite a bit better than in the mid-70s in order to try to win this one, because if it comes down to it where Dizzy continues to get high percentage 2-stars, then that means only exceed will have to get more triples in the end, since they would not have a chance to win on percentage. So those first 2 attacks are very telling for this first match.
Months of preparation condensed into a 3-minute performance, and you can see the relief on Hawk's face there as he analyzes the aftermath of that attack, seeing the burnt ruins of his opponent's base and knowing that he has put an additional star up on the board for Dizzy. This is going to be ever so difficult now for All Exceed to come back from missing a star out of the first round of attacks. Keep in mind, the first attack you have the least amount of time to prepare for, and so Hawk identifying a base and able to completely destroy it on the first round, it's going to be very demoralizing to All Exceed. Starting out a star down when hit rates are so low is going to be very difficult to come back from. But we'll see if Invincible can be the man for the job. He's going to be starting off with his Spirit Walk in the bottom corner of the base, sending in that Invisible World Champion to do as much damage as she can manage.
Yeah, with that RC pushing through, notice how he does have the recall. So typically, you're not going to have as many invis spells because you're going to look to remove a small compartment with the Royal Champion and then pull her back. But yeah, indeed, like you said, that Spirit Fox is gone, so he has to use those invisibility spells even earlier than he probably wanted to.
Very bad news. You can wait 10 seconds between those invis deploys if you keep your Fox up, but you have to deploy every 4 1/4 seconds with that invisibility spell maxed out to keep her alive. Now, does recall the World Champion. We'll be able to use her on the main stage of this attack now, getting all of those heroes lined up over on the right side corner. Remember, defending heroes do more damage and attacking heroes are weaker in this hard mode. That means he really wants a 2v1 against that enemy Archer Queen to take her down early on. The main bulk of this army is charging right there at that 5 o'clock position, right into an Inferno Tower, and big shots from the Town Hall, Carbon Fin.
As the Clan Castle does get lured out, drops a skeleton spell on the backside, which kind of distracted the Ice Combs a little bit, so we can secure this Town Hall, and there is the Overgrowth to try to push these Root Riders towards the top side of it. But there was a Furnace that we did see on the defensive side, which I'm sure we're going to see a lot more Furnaces coming in to help these bases defend, because that can cause a lot of distraction and some annoyance in the attacks. But this one, not too much, as he just powers through the core. The Troop Launcher finally now has disappeared, as those Giants, the Archers, Wall Breakers that came from that Troop Launcher are assisting, as those Giants are taking and trying to protect his troops.
Fire Spitter and
Dia rata guys.
spitting away now at these attacking troops. They're clumped up and taking a lot of splash damage from the Wizard Tower and the Mortar and that cannon as well.
Pada rata, mantap bintang 2 lagi.
Puts his hands behind his head. He knows that there's nothing else left to deploy. He can only just cross his fingers and hope for as much percentage as possible.
Fix.
He's passing the standard set by Nairobi and looking to get into the mid-90 percentage, but it is going to be so difficult to get through these walls. Even with the Fire Spitter turned around, that Archer Queen is going to continue to fire from left and right. The Phoenix is going to be the last remaining troop to spit out a few fireballs. Expo has been demolished, but at only 92%. Only Exceed missed their chance at a triple and will stay behind Dizzy's performance.
Yeah, an unfortunate 2-star there, but hey, a good
This
enough
fake
percentage
invisible
to
kalah
where if Dizzy
2
falls short,
bintang
they don't
guys.
get high enough percent, then
Dia
they
dari
start
tadi
to slowly
dapat
make it back.
bintang 2
But they're
terus.
gonna have to go for
Dari
3 stars,
berarti ini
especially
udah
if Dizzy
attack
does
kedua.
come with another one.
Rugi
The
deh.
very first 3-star that we saw come in was with Hawk. Came in with that
Kalau sampai
Royal
musuhnya
Champion in
bisa bintang
discharge,
3
which we're
lagi
gonna
udah
see
fix.
all weekend. It is going to be a meta attack
Kekurangan 3 bintang itu tuh berat, Frank.
Dragon. So I'm wondering
Karena ini
if Dizzy
sekelas
saved that
turnamen.
attack didn't use it as much in the monthly
CWL
qualifiers,
saya
and now
cuma
is really using it
nyerang
more
satu
in the
kali
monthly
beda
finals.
karo war biasa buat
With
bisa
pursed
dua kali
lips, we see
bisa saling
Invincible
menambah.
sent
Kalau CWL
back to the
enggak,
dugout.
itu
The
fokus
coins
sebisa
are
mungkin
still
dapat
clutched by
bintang
Dizzy, who have
sebanyak-banyaknya.
not given up that third star on either of the two bases they've
CWL.
defended with. And that is an extraordinary result for them out of the first 3 strikes. Seeing perfection on both these bases and a fantastic pickup on offense. This is going exactly according to Dizzy's playbook. They are showing no lack of confidence and seem on a path to victory. We haven't seen any 2 stars yet since the start of stage 2 for this month's qualifiers. So expect to see these players holding up
Ke
that
Darkstar.
standard.
Darkstar
As we get
udah
into the next attack on
dapet
Darkstar, starting again with the
3
Royal
bintang,
Champion
guys.
going invisible to stab at this base.
But notice he has 2 overgrowths. Typically with some Root Riders, you only take 1, so it's very curious to see these 2 overgrowths and
Di
how
sini
he deploys
mereka
them.
pada
Will he just
menggunakan
overgrowth the
Royal.
same section
Royal
twice after the first one
dikasih
slowly
spell
comes back
invisible.
over
Karena
time? Or the
invisible
keeper
itu
eye out as
untuk
he does
dia
all that
mereka
World Champion
si
back in the
Royal itu
benefit
biar
here
masuk
was he
untuk
did
menghancurkan
not
bagian
let his
dalam.
Spear Fox
Terutama
die,
yang mereka
so he'll be
incar
able to
adalah
use the Spear Fox ability later when he
pertama itu
redeploys
Castle
that World
Clan.
Champion.
Castle Clan
As
kalau
the Root
berada
Riders
dekat mereka
Valkyrie,
akan incar
everything is
dulu.
down to send
Setelah
right on
Castle
into the
Clan
bottom side, but he's
bisa
got to
diincar baru yang lain.
He
Kalau
overgrowth
enggak,
the Hall. So maybe
mereka
he can
itu
overgrowth it
fokus
again
ke
and just come back later and grab it.
A very light
apa
touch
itu
with the early strike
yang
here, but Dar knows that the main
Cannon.
force of this army is going
Rata-rata
to
mereka
stay
fokus ke
strong
Cannon malah.
rallying around the base, counterclockwise, tearing down these middle sections with the fire spitters.
Dan rata-rata mereka itu ngajar itu pakai darat, cara pakai darat. Karena apa? Karena darat itu kalian harus menghancurkan tembok dulu. Agak mengulas cukup waktu kalau kalian pokoknya ke darat, bro. Makanya rata-rata pro player itu mereka nggak akan fokus menggunakan darat, mereka akan campur, pasti akan ada menggunakan yang versi
But there's so many troops still passing through
Apa?
here. Look at Darkstar
Versi
making
attack
his way
udara.
right into the court, into the Infernos. Poison gets launched, but he still has a World Champion ability, the
Apakah
King
gini
ability,
bintang
and this one
3?
is crushed here.
2 more
Ayo.
invisibilities to drop too, and as those
Kalau nggak
troops
bisa
are all
bintang
clogged
3
up,
rugi
they're
kalian.
taking a lot of splash
Ini
damage,
berat,
but they'll
udah
all be
2 kali,
protected
udah
by
3 kali
invisibility
ini
spell.
guys.
Fantastic
Kalau sampai
deployment here
3
from
kali
Darkstar,
ini
and
nggak bisa
another
menang,
crushing
udah fix.
victory for Dizzy, finding a 3-star with even less time spent. It is another superb finish. Look at all those remaining troops.
Bisa nutup
Not
100%.
even close.
Tapi kan mereka udah kalah
Darkstar is ascendant for Dizzy,
satu
and with a
2 bintang.
6-4 scoreline, you wonder if it's over
Yang
before
satu
we
masih
begin.
baru setek 1
Incredible
kali.
there, and I talked about it.
Jadi
Dizzy
kerukanya
coming in as a
susah untuk
favorite
ditambah
in
benar
this
kalau
one.
nggak
They
rata.
did not lose a single match in the
Yang
monthly
pressure-nya
qualifiers.
tinggi adalah
Won out
setekan
and
kedua
made it
dan
to this
ketiga.
stage.
Kalau sampai mereka nggak bisa 100% juga.
But you win, you
And
continue in the upper bracket since it is double elimination.
jadi kayak gini
Lose, you
sebenarnya
get sent
kerjasama
down
luar
below.
biasa.
With
Sebelum
three
kalian
triples now,
ngetek, kalian
and
harus
would only exceed having
lakukan
both 2 stars.
survei
Their
dulu
hopes
ke
of
musuh
winning this
kalian.
match is really,
Bagusnya
really
ngetek
far away
darat
because they're
atau
going to have to
udara.
triple out to get 3 stars, and
Dan
then
mereka
again, the
rata-rata pakai
defense is the
invisible
percentage
buat
is
apa?
nowhere
Biar
on their
Royal
side at the
masuk
moment.
dulu. Setelah Royal masuk,
Extremely slim
aja
odds facing off
bagian
against
yang
a Dizzy
luar
crew that
biasa
know that they don't
kencang,
even really have to
aja Inferno dan sebagainya.
take risks at
Kalau
this
udah
point
rata
when
bisa
they're 2 stars
dipindahkan ke
ahead and there's only
tempat
3
lain
attacks
terus
or
habis
opponents
itu
have left. It would
dimasukin
be an
semua.
extraordinary feat for only Exceed
dari
to get all
Lucas.
3 triples. It seems now that Dizzy can start to slow down a little bit, not have to play anything too out of the ordinary or take too many extraordinary shots. Only Luca is going to stay the course, though, with this Royal Champion charging through those Electro Boots, going to get some additional splash damage off on structures that are surrounding the Royal Champion. And great timing on the invisibility drops so far to keep her on.
Royal
Taking
Champion
a
penting
few
banget di sini ya
too many
guys ya.
hits for my liking. Does keep the Spirit
Jadi
Fox
sebisa
barely
mungkin kalian
alive,
up
though, and that is
dulu.
a good timing boost
Karena
for
mau
Luka
damage-nya
to get some
lebih
more
gede
damage done on the
ketimbang
interior here, Carbon Pin.
Yeah, as that world champion is charging
Arab,
right into the core,
Archer
still has
atau
oh,
King.
did not remove that multi-target Inferno, so that stays up. As now the Root Riders or Valkyries are going to push their way straight in
rata-rata
towards
ada
the top
Baron,
side of
Naga
this base.
atau apa.
The Ice Golems will be quite annoying. We'll get slowed up here, but continuing through and wants these balloons to pull as many traps as possible so it
Iya,
protects the
royalnya
healers.
belum dipakai loh
King,
ya.
Queen, and Siege Bear
Ultinya
come to the left to try to
masih
help funnel these Root
berguna
Riders
itu
in towards the Town Hall.
peningkatan nyawa.
Slowed down by the Ice Golems on the outside. Not worried too much about taking a lot of damage from this entry point, but still only exceeds. Luka knows that the triple is so crucial right now in order to keep his team
Apakah
in the
bisa
running.
100%?
He's got two clumps of troops, though. The Root Riders going into the core, taking a shot at that Town Hall, while his heroes in the Siege Barracks over on the left side are making a second
Minimum bintang
working
2 ini.
attack here. A little bit less favored, though, because it means that the troops on the left are not benefiting from the Grand Warden's aura or his Eternal Tome. We still have two abilities left to use, though, for both the Queen and the Royal Champion, but all spells have been deployed. As that Overgrowth wears off, it's going to be all about keeping these troops on target to take down the high DPS structures that remain. Multi-target Inferno, Stone Slammer, and a long-range multi-Inferno on the back, protected by the minion frames, are all going to be way difficult to finish off. Sneezy finds his match against a multi-target Inferno. Oh, and a big black bomb tears him out of the sky.
Ooh, with a whole Tassa farm there, the Giga Bomb still waiting, and that is going to be too much to have to push through, especially with a ricochet cannon. That one defense just shreds through troops so quickly now, and now with this being the third attack, Woody, this is crazy. They've done 3 attacks and they are tied on
Ngapain
stars.
baru disisain satu?
Got 2 triples to start.
Sama ngambil ini buat apa?
Only Luka finds percentage in the 80s and tries to find another building anywhere he can.
Udah,
But the
bintang 2.
defenses will hold.
Di sini bintang, guys,
like a
bukan
supernova
presentasi.
will stay in the sky. Another black mark on the offensive lineup for only Exceed, unable to find a triple. Let's cut to the player cam for Luka here as he's just
Harus
wondering
pro player
what
aja,
he could have done
mesti nyerang
differently to try
banyak
to
yang
find that additional 13%.
terlalu susah.
A great strike and coming close to the standard set by Invincible at 92%.
Tapi kalian bisa
Ultimately,
mempraktekkan
Luka's
kesalahan mereka,
miss
karena
here
aku bisa
means
sama.
that just 2 stars from here on
Coba
out
dia
by
kalau
Vizzy
fokusnya ke udara
will
tenang,
get them confidently in the lead.
jangan terlalu banyak
And
darah,
one
dia
more would be
masuk
pretty much
cepat.
impossible for All Exceed to make
Royal
that
udah
happen.
masuk bener, udah nyerang, udah masih ada itunya
I'm
mending,
gonna have to
masih
go
ada
in and check,
skill
is this
buat
actually hard mode? You know, because it doesn't
ultinya.
feel like hard mode.
Tapi
If you get
kesalahannya
3
dia
triples
kenapa
in a
pakai
row to
darat?
start off a match of
Bukan
this
pakai udara,
caliber,
coba
with
kalau
this
pakai
much
udara,
pressure on
enggak.
and you're pulling that off,
Bisa
it's
menang.
insane to be able to do that. And how hard hard mode actually is, it is very difficult. And if you're all at home wondering, wait, how are they even playing on hard mode? Well, you can do it, you can try it. Go throw up a friendly challenge, but right when you press a friendly challenge, press the button that says hard mode, and then you could see how hard it actually is.
Royal,
Let's see how
apa?
Mass come in
Wally.
with a fully different attack. Not dragons, not root riders, but it is super witches here.
Carbon, you are absolutely right. This hard mode is just not hard
Ada
enough.
ciri khas
for players
masing-masing,
like
guys.
Mask,
Ada
who might be one of the
style masing-masing
goated
dari
players in this
sukaan
entire
mereka pakai
World
apa,
Championship
ini
run.
strike
With a
pakai apa.
94% hit rate in hard mode, I think that we need a new level of difficulty. We've got normal mode,
Tapi
we've
kalau
got hard mode.
bisanya
We need
cuma
mask mode to
bisa
make
pakai
it
ya udah
difficult
nikmatin
enough
aja,
for him.
nggak usah
He
ngikutin
is all but
style
expected to
orang,
get a
karena
3-star
style
here
orang itu
in
beda-beda.
record time and around the bottom side of the space now with a big
Kenapa
super rich
gerobaknya
army.
pakai
He
ini?
has got a lot of
Kenapa
staying
nggak
power
pakai yang
in this
gelindingan
fight.
atau yang lemparan?
With that wall breaker
Kalau
open
pakai
with the
lemparan,
bottom
damage-nya
side,
akan
gonna have to
nambah
deal with
meningkat.
the clan castle, which is an
Mungkin
ice
mereka
golem and a
lebih
furnace there.
butuhnya
But now the king's gonna join in with
apa,
these super witches, while the Pekkas
si
from the siege
apa,
barracks right to the bottom
pasukannya biar
side. And
nambah
that jump
pasukan,
gonna give
sebenarnya
them access straight
rugi
towards
juga
that
kalau
town
pasukannya
hall. There should be a
dipakai
wall opening
duluan.
there.
Kalau
Like,
misalnya nyerang dulu
try to
mereka
jump,
pakai
drop the
gerobak
jump spell
dulu,
just barely.
dinikmati
So
pakai
it doesn't
gerobak,
connect the right side
bisa
and
masuk
pushes
dalam
these troops
dan
in towards the
sebenarnya.
town hall to the top side.
We heard a
Dan
rumor
Royal
that
itu
Mask was
masuk
going into
ini.
retirement last year, but he is out with a vengeance now.
Royal
As
udah
one
masuk
of the
tapi
best
belum
in the
dipakai.
biz, tosses up that
Oh,
spike ball and
tidak.
it bounces around for massive effect, hitting both of the fire spitters and the town hall. A lot of damage coming in though, and those super witches are not making a beeline for the town hall. Mask is dropping everything he's got with only 2 more spells left to deploy to finish
Wih,
off
parah
this
sih
base.
dengan
Giant
tinggal
Giant
si
been
Cito.
confused as to what the next target is going to be as the super witches are going to start collapsing into the core. Still getting support from that Grand Warden. Can they get a few
Wah,
shots off
sih
against the
nggak
town
sanggup
hall? Take it
bintang
down
si
and get
Cito
that
tuh
2-star
habis-habisan
secured.
win.
There
Oh.
it is. Mask earns the double. Can he find all 3?
Karena mereka pro player bro, tiap hari main terus. Ini gagal strategi gak kayak kalian fokusnya ada yang kerja, ada yang apa. Jadi kalau kalian main kayak gini kok masih jadi bilangnya nggak terlalu
Hold
jauh,
your breath, Kirby.
nikmatin
It's about
aja,
to blow.
cari have fun.
Oh my goodness, he's trying right through this ground expo, and no! The Super Witch dies. The Queen is still alive with 25 seconds. One
Not
baby dragon.
impossible.
The baby dragon's
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
see
yeah.
Waiting to drop
Full
that baby
to the
dragon to try to keep it safe from the air defense, but
Uh-oh.
he's
Just
going to
keep
outrange it
it
actually.
up.
14 seconds remain, but still so much basis left. 3%
Oh, wait
is
a
second.
left. 10
Bisa,
seconds,
bisa,
Carvin.
bisa telur,
This is
bisa,
gonna come
bisa,
down to the
bisa.
wire. Mask has
Bisa.
got 5 seconds.
Oh, ora, ora, ora.
It's got
Ah,
too
mentok.
many hit points. And Mask's hit rate will drop from 33 out of 35 attacks hitting at 3 stars. He's now 33 out of 36. The
Whoa.
2-star
Rata-rata pakai
98%
tablet ya,
denies
orang
Dizzy the
ngetek
perfect
mereka.
war that they sought. And Mask
pakai
is gonna
HP.
go have to
Karena
go back to
anak-anak
the
ya
drawing board if he
bisa
wants to get a
lihat
triple in this upper
lebih
bracket.
I'm
lebar.
just wondering, where is Mask currently playing Clash? That looks so comfortable wherever he is there, and pulls away with a 98% 2-star. What a great effort there, but we saw a triple to start from Hawk. Then we saw another triple coming in from Darkstar, and those attacks was 1 Dragons, 2 was Root Riders, and this one 98%, and it was Super Witches. So 3 attacks, 3 different strategies, and that just means Dizzy is going to be such a hard team to not only prep and plan against, just try to stop,
Yota.
because all the different attack strategies, you just don't know what they're going to do.
A bit off the
Yeah,
meta there from
akan
Max, and he
begitu.
got punished in the end. We've seen a lot of
Tapi
successful
pakai
Dragon
rubah.
and Root Rider strikes, but bringing
Rubah
in the
itu
Super
biar
Witches
meningkatkan
brought a little bit too
visible
slow of an attack. And that's
sebenarnya.
always been the problem for Super Witches. They are one of the slowest comps, even if they've got a lot of staying power. A lot of difficulty for Heroya here charging into this base as
Oh.
that Royal Champion gets brought mighty far down, recalled out, but before she could finish off that Stone Slammer carving thing.
Yeah, not able to get
Correct.
nearly the value he was looking for there, but
Scatter
he
shot.
at least pulled the Royal Champion back, but the Spirit Fox is dead. As the King is going to push through with the Snake Bracelet, moving into the bottom side. Headhunter to join to help pick off this minion Prince, slow him down. Defensive Ice
Meningkatkan
Golem
damage sebenarnya
is
loh.
there
Terus habis itu pecah.
to cause some stuff to get
Orangnya
frozen, but
udah bisa
oh,
masuk.
Tesla's force open that log launcher, which the Yetis do come out of here, but I don't think he got all that push in towards the monolith as much as he wanted.
Split up, and with the Queen taking a few shots now, no longer supported by pets, just has the Yetis out in front. She's going to do whatever she can along that top side of the base, but the Monolith is about to get a lock onto her and get some big damage in. Heroya's main force along the bottom corner is still charging as strong as they can. But that Town Hall is pretty far away on the left side of the base, and this is looking pretty terrifying for Heroya. Holding on to 2 more free spells and a rage, ready to drop for maximum effect, but can he even power through to the final side?
Oof, the problem is that multi-target Inferno, he can't reach it with the Queen, so the Root Riders have to backtrack, and at this rate, this Town Hall is not going down.
No.
The Town Hall is going
Kita
to stay
dijejak.
up, and it's going to be a 1-star, so Mask does deliver a 98% 2-star.
Coba ngerebut
but
si
his
Mariana,
base
lu bisa
is gonna
bintang
hold
2,
for
bre.
1 and only exceed This is definitely not going their way
Anjir,
at all in this
gimana?
first match for them. And Dizzy can just kick their feet up and relax in this first match, because at this point, they know that they can just easily coast their way with just getting a few
Salahnya
attacks
kenapa
in
nggak fokus
and then
ke
prepare for round
kastir
2.
klien apa ke
There
holder?
were no
Kalau
one-star
kastirnya,
hits this
coba
year
kalau
in
fokus
the
ke
second stage of the
kastirnya,
qualifier. This
mungkin
is
bisa
the first one that we have now seen by
bisa ngimbang
Arroyo,
gitu
knowing
betul
that
ya.
he had to step on the gas and take a big risk to try to hurdle this incredible
Kalau main
opponent. Dizzy's
COC
faces
dari
will
sekian
not
dari
crack,
banyak
though,
pro
and with
player,
that one
fokus
star on the
mereka
books,
itu
it looks
Royal.
like we have seen
Royal
the end
King,
of the
King
war
Royal
with
nih.
Dizzy
King
far
Royal
and
mereka pakai
ahead now,
invisible.
8 stars to 6. This is seeming very
Invisible masuk,
confidently like
udah
Cynthi's
rata,
victory march
maka dia
now.
pindah.
Cynthia,
Terus
one of the
habis
most
itu nyerang
accomplished
dari
players
sisi
on
yang
this team with nearly
bisa masuk ke itu.
$100,000 in
Karena di
winnings to
sini
his name.
17 nggak
Expect to see
ada
great
Wuhan,
things from this
dia
Frenchman as
memanfaatkan
Dizzy's march is
gerobak.
going to come
Karena
on
dari awal
opposite
game
corners now. Flame
mereka
playing the
nggak pakai
strike at the left
gerobak
side,
guys.
while the
Gerobak
Grand
yang
Warden
itu
will
loh
begin
yang
to walk on the
terjun
right,
keluar.
not finding
Menurutku nggak
the
efisien,
start
karena rugi.
with a
Dia
Royal
pikir
Champion
ngapain
in this
terjun
charge
keluar.
as usual. He's going to start instead
Gerobak
with a
yang
couple
nggak
of different
terlalu penting
methods of
nggak ada
long-range attack,
efeknya.
Carbon Fin.
Yeah, this is their fourth attack and fourth different strategy here from Dizzy. Love to see the just differences and not always that same attack, where this shows how strong a team like Dizzy is, as now Cynthia is continuing to charge this ward. Invis,
Efektif
Earthquake,
banget.
hits the multi and secures that clan castle.
Masuk.
And now is he gonna allow this warden to solo on his own? No, nice balloons. So he dropped 4 balloons, I believe it was there, to then
Udah tinggal
lure the
fokus
warden
ke ini.
down to the bottom side, because that is what will draw the warden's attention. One little troop won't do it. Depends on the housing space. If you have enough housing space, then the warden will start to follow as long as it's close enough. But with the warden now going to solo to the bottom side, his queen and king are going to work together to the top side, so he has both flanks working at the same time.
Rocket Loons are going to be the main force to tear this base apart now. As you see Super Minions taking down the monolith over on the left, it is just going to be the precision strike now on all remaining defenses. Those dozen Rocket Loons that he holds must each be deployed perfectly in order to tear apart what still remains. He's holding on to that Royal Champion.
Royal Champion belum
Still
masuk.
just hasn't deployed her yet, expecting to get a lot of value out of her later on, but needs to keep her safe and ready for maximum effect. We're approaching the last minute of combat now, and Cynthia still only has 1 star, and it's going to be a rocket quick finish now as the deploy starts in the bottom left. Rocket Loons tear down a few of those structures, and he's ready to send in the Royal Champion. Do it, Cynthia! Can't wait another minute!
I mean, at this point, he sends in
Tinggal
Rocket
40
Loons to the
menit
top
tuh,
side to help protect. And Invis there, he needs to get this Royal Champion to path away to the Town Hall at this rate.
He's running out of time.
Oh, where's she going? Okay, she does go to the Town Hall. You can secure the second
ke Town
star,
Hall.
but he wanted to probably get more value with that King
Wih.
and Queen. So
Bintang
that's why he
kedua.
saved out of the Royal Champion just in case, makes the Warden invisible, and he does try to distract us. Ricochet cannons, Rock Loons are
Tinggal
slowly
kita.
trickling in, and it is going to be a 2-star here, as his heroes didn't get as much he was probably hoping for, but still, that's plenty. As we can see, this is going to put him up to 10 stars here, and they're going to be well above only C at the moment.
Warden walk tearing out
Sebenarnya
of that
kalian
bottom
bikin
right side
gerobak
of the
kalau
base and staying
yang
till
cuma
the very
terjun
end. But
di
once
luar
again, just like the Super
betapa.
Witches that we saw from Dizzy earlier on, a
Masih
time
mending yang
frame is going to be
langsung ke
result here. You have
Town
3
Hall.
precious minutes to get those troops deployed and to maximize your DPS against ever larger bases. And in hard mode, they just have so many hit points, Carbon Fin. Picture perfect placement is not going to be enough when so many seconds are available, and you have to get the troops down quicker than that to get the triple. Now he does secure the 2-star. We said earlier, Dizzy does not need to be making any big risks in this war now. They can confidently coast to victory on 2 stars alone. And yet it makes me wonder if they're going to have the staying power in the upper bracket to get victories over other really difficult teams like Synchronic, like Navi. Are they going to be able to show those 3 stars consistently throughout the later wars of this campaign?
Oh, 100%. They're going to be
Kita
the team
lihat
that the
orang
other teams
top
are
player,
going to
top
be scared
player
of
pemain
after
coba
we
untuk
saw how they
satu
started and the
menganalisis
percentages that they're
kesalahan,
bringing in. So let's see Onyx and
dua
Kazuma coming in with some
menganalisis
rocket loots of
bagaimana
his
cara
own.
kita ngetem.
We do
Yang
have a Grand
ketiga,
Warden with the Sneezy. And something to keep in mind, if you ever do a Warden walk
base
with the
mereka.
Sneezy, you have to be careful because the Sneezy, when it pops the booger from the Sneezy, it will get out in front and it could pull a clan castle when you maybe don't want that to occur. So you have to keep that in mind as we do have the early fireball
fokusnya ke
straight to
Royal
the bottom
Champion.
side to help set up the initial, I would say funnel, but there's no other troops that are going to move in. It's just like it's going to help path that warden
Jangan
as
gara-gara
he's going to make his way
Champion masuk ke
to the
sana,
right side,
jangan
while we're going to
fokus
see
ke tahun halu
Zuma's heroes,
tempat.
King and Queen, moved away from most likely to the
Dan
left.
ngarap bintang telu, bintang loro minim.
Time will tell as the long-range shots from the
Bintang
Flame Flinger
loro.
are finding no resistance yet. Ricochet Cannon about to get burnt to a crisp, while the Minion Prince on the bottom has taken a few shots from the Grand Warden. Now finish him off, and with a free spell to distract those defending CC troops, that Warden should stay relatively safe. And we see a right side attack instead now from these heroes charging in over on that right corner as the Flame Flinger sets the rest of the funnel for the raid along the top side. It looks like that left corner is going to be the last to go down here. Kazuma's first attack in a monthly finals needs to be a triple just to tie Dizzy. A 2-star here means the end of the war, even before Dizzy's last strike, Carbon Viv.
That is insane to think about in this hard mode. That you only have to bring 4 attacks to win a war. But as that Minion Prince is moving his way through that left side, Warden continues through the bottom. We still have the Queen ability.
apakah Royal
He's
Champion
coming through
salah?
each side of this
Malah
base at the same
pakai yang
time to try to take it
laga
down.
itu loh
And that
yang
also is a benefit of
kayak King.
distracting defenses while he's
Ah,
doing it.
sih, kenapa
With the
nggak
freeze
pakai
at 2
itu?
invises left, Rockaloose to sneak in to grab the Ricochet Cannon. There's a freeze out of the Milev and the Spitter,
Mungkin
and he's got it.
difokuskan
The
di
Queen ability
Queen.
intact. He's still got another extra spells, and this is indeed going to be a 3-star for Elixir. So, Woody, I'd say that's the best case
This is
scenario for him
100%.
because it could help gain momentum going into their next match, knowing that they got a 3-star, and they're going to have to continue that when they play in the lower bracket, assuming Dizzy at least gets a single star.
Dia itu gak nyangka bisa
Looks like
100%.
Dizzy will
Dari
hold
mukanya
on,
aja
but
itu
it's
udah
gonna have a crack in the
ketahuan.
defense to Kazuma. A
Masa
3-star strike in the 5th
Kazuma
final
sadar
opportunity
biasa
gives his
100%.
team a bit
Ah,
of
sendiri
boost of
koki dong.
confidence. Even as they go down
Kazuma
the
koki ya
road,
mukanya
they
tuh
still have an
kelihatan
opportunity
banget anjir.
to fight back
Oke
and try to
banget.
claim a win. Now, Dizzy only need one more star in this next strike, and that is all but expected in the next 3 minutes to confirm that Dizzy will be able to advance in the upper bracket with an opportunity to go up against their sister clan. Dizzy Group is right alongside them on the top side of this upper bracket, and we will have a chance in the next war to find out who they will be going up against. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. It's time for the
Fluxi
man
pakai
himself to march
Barbarian,
into combat.
Wali, Royal,
Fluxi will be the
terus
final attacker in
Queen.
this war.
Kan pakai Royal
The
mesti
RC
fokus
to
ke
start
Invisible.
in the Invis chart does have
Karena apa?
that
Karena mereka
recall to
fokus
pull
ke
this Raw
rantai
champion back.
dalamnya dulu.
As he makes her invisible, that
Setelah
Tesla
dalam,
might pull her to the
kayaknya
left.
keras ini.
Oh, there you go. With the Invis to force the Raw champion to the right side, but getting the timing of the Spirit Box correct is always so impressive.
Fluxi has competed in the 2022 and 2024 World Championship matches. He was actually in the grand finals of
Royalnya
22
pakai yang
and slipped by
petir,
just
petir
1
yang
star
kalau jalan
against the green
ngehit
wanderers.
ngehit
And
itu
yet,
pasti.
Fluxy is finding another opportunity to
Terus
make
habis
it
itu
back
kalian
to
mau pakai yang
Helsinki
jarak
with a
jauh apa
golden
yang
ticket.
apa atau
His
paling
first step toward that is winning this war for Dizzy. Only needs 50% or that
Terus
town hall to
hewannya itu yang
secure the 11th
simple.
star for his team and
Pasti.
get that next big
Itu
step.
baru
But
keluar
can he
kemarin
find
ya.
a triple in this final
Setelah
moment? The bomb
17
explodes and
masuk.
knocks those troops back, but a big lock onto the town hall should be enough to tear it down, Carbon Fin.
Ooh, the Town Hall is
Oh,
barely staying up. It should go down here as he does pair in that overgrowth. Over on the backside, his Town Hall still finally staying up. Eventually, it's gotta go down, right? Oh, finally, there we go. As the Root Riders continue their way through the bottom. King is down south as well. Still has the King and Queen ability. But this Warden is taking an awkward path, and he has now gone down.
It is a long march to finish off the rest of this phase. Fluxy's fingers flying across the screen at the point. The last free spell at the perfect moment will be an important complement to the last line of this attack. Multi-target Inferno and the Monolith are going to get shut down, protecting the Hogs and the Royal Champion and stabbing at the core of his base. RC's taking a big lot of damage from that Monolith. Can she finish it off? They trade shots, and the Monolith and the RC both go down. Hogs are doing their very best, but the right side of this base is given a lot of difficulty for Fluxy. As he passes the 80% mark, it's looking like it's probably going to be another 2-star as the Giant blocking the last few shots for this Archer Queen is about to go down, and there is nothing left to do. Fluxy finds a 2-star in the low to mid-80 percentage, Carbon Fin.
Yeah, unfortunately not going to get a 3-star, but all he needed was a single star, and they have been victorious. Dizzy will be advancing in the upper bracket, as this was the very first match here today. And to be honest, it was the very first match of the entire this year for the qualifiers, the finals, as this was the first monthly April finals there. So what a performance. Dizzy starting it off strong, as they will now be advancing, and they'll have to wait to see who they're going to be facing next, because there is 7 more matches to go here today, and there will be 2 teams that will be getting eliminated today and getting sent home.
But as we've heard, they're feeling confident. They think that there's no team out there that can stop them. And with a win already on the books, the upper bracket is theirs to claim. Dizzy looking confident as ever, and with the full support of 3 of our forecasters, they have indeed met their expectations. Let's take a look at some post-attack stats from that last round of attacks. The match results are concluded now with 95%, 12 stars to Dizzy's name. Only Exceed scoring 10 stars with an 83.6%. Thanks to the MVP performance by Kazuma at the last side. But who is going to be the MVP overall? I think that there's a couple of names on the Dizzy roster that could make that play.
I think so too, but look at that, 12 stars, really high percentage, 98, 92, and the 85. The 85% being the lowest still is a great percentage to get in hard mode. But Dizzy setting a tone here to start off this World Finals here, the monthly finals of April.
Badak sistem. Mobile Legends badak sistem anjir.
But great job as Dizzy is claiming this first one. Got plenty more matches to go.
Ternyata nggak cuma di Mobile Legends aja. Di Jojo juga ada dark system ya. Parah ya. DC kan, DC juga satu. Berarti tinggal DC Group
versus Navi, and that is going to be the next match up. So we will slowly work our way down this bracket as we make our way through. And those lower brackets down there, as you see, only seed. Those 2 matches at the very far left at the bottom will be played today. So those are the teams that will get sent home.
A terrifyingly tough match stands next for Dizzy, though. They either have to go up against their sister clan or they have to go up against former world champions. Not going to be an easy match either way. Let's keep the ball rolling, though, as we take a look now. I believe we have a match MVP coming up next. Can we get that up on screen and show The folks would have. But Carby, did you hear what we got next?
No, actually, no MVP just yet. So there isn't an MVP. So you know who would? I mean, if we had to pick an MVP, it's one of the players on Disney, right? So either Darkstar or Hawk coming in. I mean, Mass did have a very nice defense, the 1-star as well. But let's take a look at some replays here, and we're getting ready for match number 2.
Royal masuk ke dalam. Rata-rata masih fokusnya ke Royal. Kalau nggak pakai Royal mungkin ke developer. Karena Royal itu dia melewati tembok. Beda sama Barking sama Queen itu mereka tuh nggak fokus masuk, nggak bisa masuk loh langsung. Itu keuntungan pakai Royal. Malah yang untung lagi itu yang pakai yang hero yang terbang itu yang satu lagi damage terlalu sakit, terus terlalu efisien hit. Hero juga dark system banget anjir. Masih Kazuma gendong anjir. Kazuma gendong dark system. Kalau Kazuma tok sih bintang terluar, Cok.
I have to welcome back the one and only Itsu here. So Itsu, let's get your thoughts on that very first match. What did you think of it?
I mean, whenever in hard
Gak
mode,
ada
I feel like
ikal di
especially
sini,
you're
bro.
getting this
Ya terlalu
so you're like
sepuk Victor
pressuring the
kayak
other team
dulu.
to do
Juga
even more risky
diikalnya, berarti
attacks,
fokus ke
even
ikalnya
attacks
dulu.
where things can go horribly wrong. You can really feel the
Terus
pressure
dulu
then on the
nggak
other team,
fokus
especially
ke
with this being the first qualifier. So there was
Oh iya,
not like
mereka fokus ke
it was a
Wali.
long time since the last big qualifier happened last year.
Meteor.
So yeah, you can feel that sometimes the teams
Itu
are then
dulu.
getting pushed into a direction where they don't feel as
Besok
safe
rame
anymore.
itu The Royal.
Yeah, they are
Royal
in
Chamber
safe because
masuk
anything can
caranya di
happen. But
situ.
match number
Wih.
2 is ready to begin. And a
Navi
fan
di
favorite
situ.
Navi is up next, taking on Dizzy, a group. So another team under the Dizzy name, looking to try to continue that Dizzy winning streak. Can they do it? But trying to take a team that is like Navi, who consists of Gaku, Klaus, Yara, Kazuma, and Stars. Itsu, any team facing this one right here has gotta be just so scared, right? They're just one of the best teams out there.
Yeah, and I feel like the most impressive thing about them is really they're showing up when they have to. Because if you
Kita
just look
lihat
at the numbers,
gameplay
the
dari
surprising thing
Navi
might be
dan
Navi is having
grup.
the lowest hit rate coming
Kalian
into
harus
from the second stage with a
tahu
32% hit rate.
kesalahan
On the other
dan
side with Dizzy Group having 46.
kegunaan.
But let's not talk about
Pasti
numbers.
akan
Let's see
mereka
from the team
rata-rata pakai Royal.
themselves what
Karena
they
lihat
think
dari
about this match.
permainan yang yang tadi yang di si awal.
私はナビに所属しているガクです。
I'm God Gadu, the first defense
そうです。
decision
今シーズンの調子は
on this
いろい
season.
ろは落ちてしまったんですけども、その後は調子を取り戻せたと思ってます。
So you feel the pressure.
ファイナルに向けてはプレッシャーはあまりなくて、やっぱり先月のウォームアップで勝てたことが自信になっていると思います。このマンスリーファイナルで期待することは、もちろん優勝して最初のゴールデンチケットを取ることです。
Apakah
私たちがこの大会
Gaku akan menjadi MVP di Navi ini
やっぱり攻撃が
Turnamen
調子
ini
が良くなかったので、攻撃
di
をより仕上
gameplay
げてい
ini
きたいと思ってます。
karena baru pertama dia masuk.
やっぱりこういった大会ではプレッシャーがあるんですけども、いかにプレッシャーを感じずいつも通りプレーできるかが大事だと思ってます。私たちのこの大会での戦略は、やっぱり最近は同じ戦術ばっかりが多いので、その裏をかけるようなアタックをできたらなと思ってます。
And there we heard it straight
That's
from the
good to
captain
see.
himself, Gaku. They got sent to the lower bracket early last weekend in the monthly qualifiers, but they worked their way through the lower bracket. They had to play so many more matches than a team that just
Di si
won
grup.
in the previous match, which was Dizzy. And
Apa di si
Navi's
grup
got what it
bisa
takes, but
mengadakan
all
Navi
the cards are on the
biar
table now.
mereka
You
bisa
have to
bertarung
perform.
dengan
If you
DC
don't,
biasa.
you won't be able to try to win and stay in the upper bracket, which you get such
DC
a better
Ryota
opportunity to have a chance
Den
at that golden
Chien
ticket, but
Kai
their opponents is going to be
Zekin.
looking to take them down as a
Zekin.
Dizzy group here at 2.
That's right, and they're coming in with their roster with Ryuda, Denden, Tien, Kai, and Ziken. And I mean,
Rata-rata Cina
they, as I
kabeh,
said
Cok.
already earlier, have an incredible record.
Rata-rata
of
emang
such
COC itu
good hit rate.
fokus
They had
ke
a
luar
really
negeri.
good run in the second
Kalau di
stage of
Indonesia
this
udah nggak
competition.
booming
So the
lagi.
question
Sekarang
really is if they can
boomingnya
repeat
itu
that
baru maju
performance.
Mobile
And I suppose
Legends.
something Gaku has said is that most of the teams that currently are using the same
Call of
strategies,
Duty,
which makes it
terus
somewhat
kalau
predictable
enggak,
maybe
PUBG juga
sometimes.
sekarang
And he has
udah
talked
belum.
about that, well, maybe they're
Free
going
Fire
to throw
kemarin
something
game mepet.
different onto the other bases. So I would love to hear
Game
what the thoughts
COC
are
hanya
from this
dimainkan
group
oleh orang
going into this
dewasa.
match and
Jarang
how they're going
anak-anak
to
yang
approach
mau
this. So
main
let's
COC
take a
karena
look.
otaknya kadang nggak nyampe. Mereka tuh posisinya fokus ke depan, jadi menganalisis ke depan, jadi agak ribet kalau COC.
能够在今年的世锦赛
Susah
第一张
walaupun
票就能够打
dengan
是
full
开
yang
启很兴
sama
奋，
dengan
然后我们也努力准备周末的
dengan
比赛。
hero yang sama dengan gameplay yang sama bisa ending
压力的话
berbeda.
没有，因为我们队上的每个人都是
Itulah kebebasan
参加过
COC.
很多比赛，然后也有去过总决赛的，
Jadi
所
kalau
以
lu bisa
压力
sampai
我们都
bintang
是
3 itu lu hoki sebenarnya, bukan lu jago.
最大的目标当然是可以拿到金票，但是我们会把每一场先打
Rata-rata
好
itu yang apa youtuber yang itu yang di Indonesia yang booming banget tuh
没有特别担心的，但是希
dia
望
aja
我们可
hoki
以
sebenarnya
顺
bisa
利
sampai
的
bintang 3. Dia
打
itu
出
kan
赛
ngetek
事，然后发挥
lihat
好我们
lihat
平常的
base
水准，
musuh
然后
dulu.
准
Kalau
备
ini
的
kan
方式
enggak.
可以有好的表
Dia
现
itu。langsung di lokasi, langsung bertemu dengan orang, terus base-nya langsung
在
nggak
第一
bisa
场比赛就可以拿下胜利
dianalisis
的话
dulu.
是
Beda
对我
dengan
来说
yang
是
di
很有意义的，因
Clash
为
Clash of Clans
就是
yang
可以
baru-baru
有一
yang
个好的
kalian
开头，
pakai itu
然后
bisa dicek dulu
心
terus
态还有心情上
gimana
面会提升的比
gameplaynya
较
biar
大。
masuk. Beda sama yang kayak gini karena lebih
我们
susah
在
yang pro
准备和
player
练习
karena
很
pro
多
player itu
流
mereka
派跟
cuma
思路，
sekali
然后希
langsung
望可以
attack,
在比赛上发挥出来。
cuma
让
lihat
大家
sekali
看到
terus lu pilih hero apa pasukannya kan kamu serang terus pakai hero
Dizzy
apa
group is looking to take out a
hanya
Navi
diberi
here.
waktu
This
1
is
menit
match
2 menit
number
2
2
menit
as we
untuk
have
milih
a
hero
total of 8
milih
matches
hero terus
today.
milih
So many
gameplay
matches as this is going to be the first attack
cara
from Navi,
gimana
which
nyerangnya
looks to be Yada
sesosok itu.
going up against Ryuda. And Yada has been known to
Jadi
bring
jangan terlalu
bowlers in the past.
samakan. Oke,
He
pro
loves the
player
bowler
ini
attacks, but
rata
it's not meta.
itu yang
It's not the thing that we're
youtuber
probably going to
pada
see here today.
mereka
It's
itu
going to be
gampang
the
karena mereka
Dragons
udah
or
karena
the
nyerang udah
classic
pernah
Road
lihat
Riders, which
base
looks to be the case
musuh.
here at Zoo.
Kalau ini enggak.
Yeah, and he's going in
Dan
with the Roy Gem in
rata-rata
charge,
kalau
which
yang itu
has
kan
to be
dikasih
expected
waktu
since
itu
the attributes are
1
just
menit
so incredibly
seharian.
strong.
Kalau ini
But
enggak
I
1
think he has
menit
only
2
invested,
menit
or he's going to invest
2
only
menit
3
3 menit
invisibility
tambah.
spells, which means that this Roy Gem in charge is only supposed to get this first layer of defenses, and then he's going to recall her probably really quick right after, just to make sure that the pathing for the second phase, which are the Root Riders, is then set up, and that's exactly what it looks like right now.
And he does even grab that Crown Expo and pulls the Spirit Fox just in time there, as the log launcher is going to be paired in with the King and the Queen towards the top side of this base, as they're going to make their way right on through. Has an overgrowth to
Mereka
use, but
belajar
he'll
dari
wait
gameplay
as
yang
he's
pertama
pushing. He
dari
will push in with the Root Riders at one
dari
point,
DC
as the
di
Queen
game
may
pertama
fall
mereka
behind
itu
log
tidak
launch to get
memanfaatkan
into the core
berubah
of the base
dengan
here.
baik.
Yeah, but the outside has to be cleared. So the Root Riders are getting pushed then in from the far right side, and the pathing is set up because this is what it's all about. Remember, Root Riders are going from defense to defense. They don't care about storages or other buildings. They're only caring for defense, and this is why this pathing is so important for this troop. And so far, things look quite solid. The Mojang Front Tower and the Fire Spitter, though, they're dealing so much damage right now.
Yeah, they are hitting through the troops and even can hit back to the healers as the path is pushing through. But the Root Riders are going to the bottom and the Town Hall is remaining up. But he does have the Royal Champion, even with her ability still to use. So as long as these Royal Champions can clear the defenses at the bottom side, the RC can get some fantastic value through the core. As the Sneezy and its pet there, the pulls the red air bombs was fantastic to try to help even protect these healers. But granted, they're not going over the core. The healers are on the Root Riders, which is where you want them to be at the bottom.
Yeah, they're making sure that those Root Riders are staying alive, keep tanking. We now have the Queen joining up forces again with the other troops, and even the giant from that equipment is in the mix as well. What makes this equipment as well so strong is just the fact that it's attacking everything, which means like it's attacking everything what is attacking the giant itself as well, which means a hero, for example. But on this one, it's not even needed. This base is done. And now they're starting, as many people expected, with their really strong open.
A fantastic start here for Navi, just like Dizzy in their previous match. Getting a triple to start is huge and a fantastic way to get that momentum rolling. The Dizzy group, you're going to have to answer with a 3-star as well. Even a 99%
mau nyerangnya pakai Royal Champion. Kalau nggak pakai Royal Champion rugi, mesti bintang 1. Kalau nggak bintang 1, teman-teman bintang 2.
But having the high
Saya
percentage
lihat
of stars can be
yang
a
main
great
di
way to have
COD
ensures as a
ke Royal
tiebreaker
Champion
if you
dulu,
do
terus
end up tying in the
tingkatin
end with stars.
invisible.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, there's always all 5
Terus
attacks.
biar
So if
masuk
you're starting
ke-
with like a high percentage early, you can see clutch it out with one of your last attacks.
Yeah.
And with hard mode, we
No,
have seen
VTC
really
group.
rarely really high scores.
Kind
So even if the
close.
first attack is a 3-star, you should not freak
Very
out.
close
This is
game.
something which
Close,
Dizzy
saya
Group said in their
close.
interview that they want to
Kalau
concentrate on
bintang
their
telur,
own game.
rugi
This
dong.
is exactly
Ayo,
what they should do
baik.
with their first attack. They're coming in with a similar approach,
Mereka
having the Royal
Royal
Champion charge
Champion,
this one
mesti
as well,
Royal
as well
Champion
with the
tuh
recall spell,
tambahkan.
and then the Root Riders to follow things up.
Yeah, that RC gonna look to get some initial value, going invisible to the ground expo down here. With an invis off to the right, will she step into the builder? No, does make her way to the multi, and then can go towards the monolith, but he won't be able to grab the monolith because he's out of invis spells, and no! Wait, no, at least he pulled the RC back, but the Spear Fox, okay, I thought from his reaction that the RC died. But luckily does still have the RC, but the Spear Fox, that would be really nice to have back. Unfortunately,
Great to have that pet still alive. It's just protecting this
tekanan
hero
buat
so
Kai.
nicely. But again, we're having those
Rata-rata
heroes
tekanan
trying to
Kai,
set up the
asli,
pathing
Bang.
for the second or even the third stage then.
Rampung
with the
gitu,
Riders
kulit
really
dong,
making sure
gerak-gerak
that they
Kai,
have this pathing
rata.
for the defenses set up, and they can really make sure that they're staying together, because something so important about this attack are the healers. They're not just healing a single target, they're having this area healing, which means if the Rooters are staying together, it's great. If they're splitting, it's really, really bad.
yeah, with the log
Kan
launcher
keuntungan
also
di sini.
trying to help assist, opening up with those Yetis and the King's Earthquake boots through the core,
Coba.
and that spiky ball. Tunnel just gone down. Valkyries continuing their way up to the top side. Royal Champions up there, pairs in that freeze. Is looking to keep the RC alive, but the Queen,
Harusnya
she's now
bisa
made her way to
menang.
the monolith, secures that. But the enemy Queen is going to
Oh, tapi
take
Queen
her
is taking
down
Royal.
super
Yeah,
quick
that's
as he
it.
tries to keep his troops alive through the core. And that Royal Champion,
Attention
she's still
apaan?
moving.
Bisa.
Yeah, he has done a great job keeping her alive, but still, that ability on the back end would have been so nice to still have. We now have this moment, exactly what I highlighted in the first attack. The Giant now is attacking that defending Archer Queen, and that Giant is just dealing so much damage, especially in a raged up mode, and there's not much space left, Calvin. This
Bintang
could
telu
still
cowok
work,
bisa
should
cowok.
still work.
They'll get it.
Bintang
It
telu.
will work.
Wah,
And there
keren
you
tenang
go.
banget. Bintang
Even
telu sih.
after losing the Spare Fox, thinking that the Royal Champion could have died there, but no, delivers a 3-star, and we've got ourselves
Kai,
a
betul.
match. 3-star answering a 3-star to start, and this is a fantastic way to start
Ke
match
Royal
number
Champion,
2
keuntungan itu
here
pertama
of the
Royal
April
Champion,
monthly finals.
Jadi buat
And
kalian
Dizzy
yang
Group
main
is gonna
Kencho,
put the
fokus ke
pressure
Royal
and answer
Champion,
right
habis
back
itu
to them.
ke Bali.
And both teams are here
Gacor
to
pin.
play. They are really good. With Navi always showing up when it's needed. And on the other side with DZ Group so far having an incredible run in this competition with really impressive attacks. They were able to showcase like this perfectly in this attack which we have just witnessed with turning things around. I mean, he has lost the Royal Championship so early. On top of that, has lost the Spirit Fox, as you mentioned, and he was able to still save her. But losing the ability and the Fox that early for what cheap-looking Royal Champion funnel is never something you would like to happen. So really good recovery, showing why they have this deserved spot in this position.
And that's the crazy thing. He could have done that attack 10 more times, and maybe it
Nah,
would not
Vika
have gotten a
Zuma
single
karo
triple.
den.
It's all
Wih,
about the
Cina
small
kafe
ways
bre,
you drop
Cina,
spells.
Cina.
Every time you try to attack it over and over again, you drop your spells
Cina
a
mau
little bit
Korea apa
differently,
Jepang,
and it doesn't
wih.
get that exact same value.
Kazuma,
But Kazuma
Kang
is
Navi.
up here for Navi, and it's going to be a
Kenapa
huge
nganggo
Royal
piye?
Champion charge. No recall for her.
Ang musim
She's
naga,
looking to
bukan
get up
naga
an
biru,
incredible
anjir.
amount of value. But
Tembak orang
it's-
kencang,
there might be a
dong.
lot of traps expecting an RC charge from this area.
Yeah, it's something which makes the prediction of this Royal Champion charge harder is, well, he's using the King. He's using the King to push that Royal Champion into the core of this base to manipulate the pathing. But the King, and that's maybe something which is just like predicted, with those Tesla and the skeleton traps, was not able to get the value, was not able to get the buildings. And
Sampai
with that,
mana gue?
you are maybe right. This entry being predicted and the Royal Champion not pathing into the
Baca
core
mentok
as
nada
Kazuma was
maksimal.
hoping for.
Yeah, with that RC continuing
Papat.
into the middle, not toward the multi, but Giant Bomb there, popping the ability finally. Another Invis wants to remove that multi, but I did notice he had the Earthquake boots on the King. I can only imagine if he had maybe a Giant
Ui.
Gauntlet to help deal a
Kan
lot of
celup banget,
splash,
Cong.
could have taken care of the skeletons. But granted, the Monolith is still up, and that is one of the defenses that could be very troubling for Dragons as he now deploys them
Corona.
to the bottom side and has the blimp to fly all the way across, and he barely protects that blip with the Warden Internal Tome.
Yeah, but the blimp is going down really early and he's not able to get even close to that town hall. He has still a lot of troops, but we all know in hard mode, those troops can disappear quite quickly and he has a long way still to travel to get towards the town hall. He has a couple of rocket loons which he can
Ya,
invest to
siapa
really
nak
push those
kayak
dragons back on track. But you have mentioned as well, that monolith was able to stay alive really long, and the minion principality is forced as well into the wrong direction.
Fine,
Yeah, it
fine.
was forced through the top side, so not going to hit that town hall. And he definitely can't afford a 1-star here, as there's only one invis, and this is a 1. There's no way, right? I mean, with a dragon going to the outside, the warden's going down, and a 1-star here for Kazuma. And I
Oh,
wonder
wait.
if that blimp, he accidentally tapped it and clicked open instead of that blimp flying all the way to the town hall.
But even then, I'm a little bit confused by the filling from the clan castle, because we have
True,
seen inside
yeah.
that blimp
Wis
a super
kacau,
dragon, which
ya.
would be not that
Kazuma,
classic
Kazuma
take down the
ngawur.
town hall. So I'm not sure if the blimp was
Apa gue
actually
nganggo
intended
gue?
to reach the town hall, because then I would have
Tembak gue
expected
kancar
something
anjing
like
yang bentuknya sapu.
Yetis, because he looted the clan castle already with the Royal Champion charge. So really surprising what exactly went on there. But something I really want to highlight as well is the defensive side of the Zikun here, because for whatever reason, like if this specific entry was baited or whatever other town entry, with having this Tesla farm up at this top side, and denying the value of the king, denying the king to get that compartment out, making sure that that Royal Champion is not going straight into the core of the space and into the monolith as well. That was the big deciding factor, because with that the dragon entry was way too wide. He was not able to get the overall value. This is a 1-star, and this is not something you can easily come back from, especially at this stage of the tournament.
Tenden bisa bintang
That
wis
is devastating
Kazuma
right there. A
Udin
1
bisa
after the
bisa.
opponent gets a triple. Granted, you did get a triple with Yada's attack.
Kuliah bisa-bisa
Delivered there.
nancamu.
But now they gotta hope a 1-star answer. So imagine we start off a triple and a triple, and then imagine we go 1-star, 1-star. I mean, it could happen. But now that Disney Group knows that they have a 1-star against their base, that probably changes their mindset going in. They'll definitely be a little bit more cautious in making sure they secure at least that 2, as that Royal Champion is going to go in with the Invis cards into the multi, and then eventually towards this Monolith. Maybe not. He might not be able to get it. Yeah, no. Pulls that RC back.
Yeah, that Monolith could be problematic, but at the same time, we are going to have again one of those lock launcher entries where he's going to have the Golden and the King as well going to that compartment with the lock launcher opening up this section between the Monolith and the Scatter, which means he can easily take down all of that anyways. He's going to then have the Root Riders going to enter from this Wizard Tower on the bottom side into the Mortar, into the tunnel then, and you can really see how this pathing is going to then be shaped up for those troops. Everything now is going to be deployed, and we have as well then some more support for the Root Riders in form of the Valkyries.
With that log launcher about to open up here, it can help. And no, the King took out the Monolith there, so the Yetis are going to path their way off to the right potentially. No, they may go up to the top, but he does pair in that Ward and Eternal Tome. Root Riders should open up the wall leading towards the Town Hall now, as the Overgrowth has now been paired into the top side, and the Town Hall will easily go down as he still has the Queen ability and Royal Champion ability intact.
And we see again the power of this easy path, because all of those red mines are getting triggered, and this really keeps those speakers safe, even though the Warden ability was already invested. But there's a lot of base left. That Power Speeder now is start taking down the Warden, start taking down CZ, start taking down the healers. This is not a good spot to be in.
Not a good spot at all, as he's trying to rack up percentage. He's shaking his head there, he's not liking it. Can pop the Queen ability, get more value, get more percentage, but he wanted way more than that. Na'Vi with their 1-star though, you never know, a triple, another 2-star from Disney Group, Na'Vi can be back in it, and then the percentage game is going to be the difference maker, as we are seeing that Queen trying to continue to get enemy Queen there. Invis barely keeping her alive. Does have an open wall there, so the Queen can step up a little bit more, pushing into the 80s. You know, every single building will matter in the end.
Yeah, there goes the freeze, but can she take down another building? No. The first defense is staying alive, while we have the Giant keep going, taking down building after building, and every percentage matters, as you highlighted earlier. 88 right now, but I feel like this is going to be the final score for this attack. Overall, really solid approach, but as well, the Royal Champion was, I mean, she did go down during her ability, which means he had the double epic equipment combination, so the electro boots and as well the spear. And I feel like she shot 2 spears, I believe, on the back, and then went down, so the ability was just a little bit too late, so less value. And considering how close this in the end was, if the Queen, if the Royal Champion stays alive for a little longer and is able to provide all of her spears, maybe that's a different outcome.
Maybe it is a different outcome, but hey, here's what Na'Vi's looking to do. 3-star and continue to 3-star to try to make a comeback after getting a 1-star. You never know. Anything can happen. Crazier things have unfolded in years past. You never count out a team, especially a team like Na'Vi. Even if they do get sent to the lower bracket, they're used to it. They've been sent to the lower bracket before. They did it last weekend. They won, I don't know, 6 or 7 matches in a row in the lower bracket just to make it to this weekend and compete here today. So the captain is now up. Godfrey needs to deliver a 3-star. Does have the Root Riders. Starting off with that Royal Champion Invis. Yeti was sent to the right side. Yeti might jump over. Giant Bombs popping in front of this Royal Champion, which looks to try to kill off the Spirit Fox, so he then can't use it later in the attack to help keep the RC protected.
Again, we're seeing the double epic equipment combination on that Royal Champion, which means you have to be careful and for sure highlight if she can get any value after she has used that spear, because what you want to have happen is that the passive healing of that electro boots is just going to heal the Royal Champion up again and is giving some hit points back. while she's staying out of range of most of those defenses. But for that to happen, she needs to have some tanks in front of her in the form of those Root Riders. But we're having them now pushing them into the Town Hall. We have this classic combination of the Ice Golems and the Fire Spirits of the Fernants. But the Root Riders, they have to stay alive and tank.
As one internal home protects, I do like that Coco Loons that's getting out in front to try to pull traps for these healers as the Town Hall has gone down. Here's that first start. Continues through. There's a baby dragon in the middle as well, which could pull air traps to really help protect these healers as it continues his way with that overworld paired into the left, dropping a skeleton spell to distract the monolith. We have the King, Queen, and a few Root Riders going to the left. Jordan is also decided to go left while the Raw Champion and just like one Root Rider and the healers have now switched and go to the right side.
Yeah, and the Raw Champion has already used her ability. She was able to get all of those rocket spears out there. So that was a nice timing to really make sure that she's staying out of danger. Right now, there's a lot of damage around her. The question is, can she get enough hit points recovered? But I feel like the defending king is having a strong opinion against that. Well, his Archer Queen still has her ability with as well the double epic equipment combination of that giant and as well, I think, the magic mirror.
Yeah, that one Root Rider that opened up the wall now for that Queen is going to be crushed. The Queen won't get stalled up on the wall to the outside. And there is the giant, the action figure ability, which will spawn the giant for the Queen. The mirror as well. Gonna have the burn ability here. There it is. Has to play through this mini but only 25 seconds here at 2.
Ooh, this is going to be close. The cannon is getting those shots on the Archer Queen as well. The Giant is trying his best, but that is not going to look like the 3-star. It is close. But the tomato trap is protecting the Expo, and in the end you said a time fail. And this means Na'Vi with 2 building short. They are the team with the most close attacks in their matches. While of the other teams are around like 1 to 2 close attacks, which really means like 99-98%. Na'Vi has around like 4 of them during the second stage, so they are having a lot of close attacks. This unfortunately is one of them.
98%, so close there for Gaku, but still not close enough. They need to get that 3-star and bring the star count back from the 1-star they got earlier. But the percentage is really useful. It's going to be so helpful for later on for the attacks to determine who could have that advantage in tiebreaker if Na'Vi pulls off a triple while Dizzy Group continues to only 2-star. If Dizzy Group were to get that 1-star, then it's a completely different war here.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of things can still happen, and especially still with the 1-stars on the table. I mean, we've now seen quite a few already on this weekend, that anything can happen, as you mentioned. I mean, really, those things can be turned around quite quickly. And we're having the next attack. It's going to be, again, one of those Royal Champion charges with the Root Riders as a follow-up. Gaku already said in the beginning, currently most players in this competition are playing pretty much the same strategies, and it's the Royal Champion charge with the Root Riders, or it's the Royal Champion charge with the Dragons. This is just those are the best strategies right now in the game by far, and the pros are really trying to take advantage of that as much as possible.
And with an early value of that Royal Champion, which sets the funnel on one side. Then you use your King and Queen to set the funnel on the other side, and notice we have the Root Riders coming in between those 2 points, in between where the Royal Champion was and in between where the King and Queen currently is, so the Root Riders can go towards the core, into the Town Hall, into the middle. As he is waiting to use the Warden ability, will he use it earlier rather than later so he can protect as many Root Riders as possible? But you really want to use it when you're experiencing all the damage from the core of this base, and especially that Giga Bomb right there, and protects right through it.
Yeah, really nicely done, protecting his troops at the right moment. Now using the Overgrowth spell to redirect them towards the bottom side. And I feel like the Overgrowth spell oftentimes can be like backfiring quite a bit if it's going to wake up at a really bad time for the attacker. And that Mortar Tower on the back end, those healers are getting roasted so quickly, so you have to be careful when it comes down to those troops are coming back, and that's right now the case.
RC's got her ability, Queen's got her ability. is looking pretty solid here as the Ruras have opened up the complete core of the space towards the backside, as he can still pair in these abilities together, and there's not much left. Really the biggest threats, we have the defensive king, which will be quite annoying, but the queen is working through him. And then the RC ability will be able to help take these defenses off. And Ryuda and DZ Group are going to be adding a triple here. And this is a fantastic start for them. And this is attack of 3, which now is going to put them to 8. And they're going to be the 2 stars up. That is going to be huge going into the final 2 attacks in this match.
Yeah, this right now is the worst nightmare for all Na'Vi fans and Na'Vi players. But Dizzy just keep going. We already said they have close to a 50% success rate in the hard mode. That is crazy to think about. This hard mode, as I already said earlier, you can, like, everyone can try it as well for themselves. Just go into your friendly challenge section. Make sure that you're checking in the hard mode option and then see if you can beat your own villages in hard mode. It is a complete different game when it comes down to the difficulty, and seeing them crushing bases like this, the best bases out there, is really impressive to watch.
And that's something to keep in mind. You say the best bases out there, because even if you attack on hard mode, you attack your own base, you get that 3-star in the monthly harder to take down, because the base builders, the attackers, spend so much time building the space, testing the base for different entries, for the strongest attacks in the game. And these are the ones that, if you have a chance to copy, definitely do it, because they're going to help you win your wars, especially in CBL when you only get 1 attack in those matches. Well, let's see, as Stars is now investing the Royal Champion with 5 invises left. He's already sent in the 1 invis. He wants to get this value with her, continue through, but it is not looking good for Na'Vi as they are down by 2 stars.
Yeah, but they just have to concentrate at their own game, have to make sure that they're delivering those attacks. And oh no, that is, as we're speaking about delivering their own attacks, they're messing up the timings a little bit. The Royal Champion taking a lot of damage. The Fox going down as well. Now he needs to make sure that he's getting everything he was coming for, and he's recalling the Royal Champion, keeping one of those invisibility spells, but having the Bitter Hut, or at least both of them alive, this could be problematic moving forward if the Root Riders are getting distracted then.
Yeah, the Root Riders, though, could get pulled up there. We're going to see the healers now deployed in between where the RC went and the King and Queen. But the King, he's backtracking. He's meant to stay out in front and help protect that Queen. So that's not exactly where he was supposed to go, as now the Warden can help protect these troops waiting to use this War Internal Tome. And if he does use it to protect that 1 balloon, that would be very nice. No, because it could have gotten out in front and pulled some more traps. But now these healers are exposed unless we have the Sneezy getting some of the boogers out in front to pull the traps and protect the healers.
Yeah, but the problem here is that those boogers are attacking everything, which means right now they're getting distracted from the upside storages, and this means the healers, they could lure some red mines, and we have to really keep a close eye on those healers. There's the black mine. First healer is gone. Town Hall shooting at them as well. The Fire Spirit as well. Those healers are going down quick, and without the healing and the Town Hall still up, things are looking rough.
Now looking the best here as the King Spiky Ball skips across. Does have a direct path to the Town Hall with that King, so he's going to secure it with the assistance of the Warden. But the Queen has gone to the bottom side. He's lost the flank to the top with the Root Riders. The Valkyries, Super Barbs pulling some traps, the Spring Traps there, and everything is fading away with just another Invis spell left to try to get extra value. But with this being a 2-star, they're going to be tied 8-8, but Dizzy Group still have another attack to do.
Yeah, this is not looking good for Na'Vi and for Stars in this specific attack. They were able to try to get a lot of value around this top side. In the end, I feel like they somewhat got the value they were looking for, but this is something you have to consider as well, attacking with Sneezy. The pathing which you're creating is not just for the Root Riders, because if you want to have Sneezy tanking for your healers, you need to make sure that you're clearing the flanks as well from those regular buildings, storages, collectors, all those type of buildings, because Root Riders will ignore it. But those spawned troops from the Sneezy won't, and this is the main protection for you, for your healers inside the core, and that was really backfiring for him there. But this means it's back to Dizzy Group, and they are looking so good in their current position.
So the storyline with Na'Vi was last weekend in the monthly qualifiers that they weren't producing with 3 stars, and they fell short, got knocked down to the lower bracket, and then they had to make the lower bracket run. And at this point, it's looking like it's the same thing. Na'Vi will have to make a lower bracket run if Dizzy Group continues at what they've been doing with their final attacks. And it seems like it's the different Dizzy teams, because it was Dizzy Hispanos that actually sent Na'Vi down to the lower bracket last weekend. So it's just Dizzy has got something against Na'Vi. It's like that's Na'Vi's kryptonite or something in the upper bracket.
Yeah, and especially when I looked at the match history of Na'Vi, both first matches in the qualifier were 10 stars. So even in the lower bracket they have right after, like the first match versus Dizzy Hispano, where they only got 10 stars, they got back to back then another 10 star, which means they were just relying on their defenses, and it feels like that is not working at this stage of the competition. At this stage, you have to produce more 3 stars on your own, because you're seeing it with the Dizzy Group. Your opponents will 3-star, because at this stage we have only the best teams left, and the question now is, can Den provide for Dizzy Group another 3-star, because the Royal Champion pathing setup in the beginning looks flawless. Now it's all about the follow-up.
Yeah, with a Minion Prince soloing to the bottom side, he's gonna act as what the King would do. So no King in this attack. The Minion Prince is low health, but pops the Minion Prince ability, which will slow all that stuff down to the left as Ice Golems come out of the Clan Castle, and he's going with the E-Dragon choice off to the far side of this base, but that won't last long as the E-Dragon is going down. As the opponent is trying to help protect these riders through the core and through this Town Hall.
I have to say I really like this Minion Prince approach, because the Minion Prince can really provide a lot of value on that flank. So let's see if this Phoenix form of the Minion Prince can provide enough funneling, enough pathing for the Root Riders. At the core, there's not that many troops left alive. I feel like the choice of the Siege machine was maybe not the best.
But at the end of the day, they could be switching up their mindset, knowing of the lead that they have. They could be going for way safer, just 2 stars, lock it up.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, you don't have to get many 3 stars. You don't have to get 13, 14 stars. You just have to win your current war. The stars do not carry over. You won't have tiebreaker situations between teams. That's not the case. You don't have to add stars up over each war. It's all about the individual war, one at a time. You win, you advance, and that's what they're focused on.
Exactly, and so far they're doing exactly that, getting that save 2-star on this one with the Royal Champion opening, which just worked out perfectly for him, and he has now the opportunity to really get even some more beatings picked up. So even if something crazy is happening and this match might get turned around, they're not losing on the percentage side, because right now he's getting more and more percentage and finishing on the 87%. Which is going to increase their percentage by quite a bit.
87% there, and they're just going to look to 2-star their final attack. No matter what Na'Vi does in the final attack, it won't matter. Because even if it's a triple, it'll be 11. And then Dizzy Group get a 2-star, and they will be at 12. So we're going to have to see what the final attack will be, because the first attack from Na'Vi, it seems so long ago, but it was a 3-star that started it off with Yada that set the tone of this match. Dizzy Group answered with a 3-star themselves, but then when Kazuma attacked, he did deliver the 1-star, which that's where everything changed. So Klaus is going to be the final attacker coming in for Na'Vi in this match. Remember, you're just joining, this is the upper bracket, meaning that if you lose, you still have another chance in the lower bracket, but the road through the lower bracket is so much harder, because once you make it from the lower bracket to the grand finals, you're going to have to win back-to-back matches and force that bracket reset, and that is not an easy thing to do against these teams.
Yeah, not an easy thing to do at all. And we're seeing, again, one of those Royal Champion Charge openings. This time around, no Root Riders, but instead back to the Dragons. Something which he does right now as well is using the Archer Queen on the left side with the Angry Jelly to do the job of what in one of the earlier attacks of Kazuma, the King was supposed to do, to really push the Royal Champion into the Monolith. And this time around, it seems like that the Royal Champion is following the call and going for that Monolith, which is the main target, especially if you're attacking with those really, really beefy troops like the Dragons. Having a lot of hit points is not the best thing to have for the for approaching versus the Monolith. So really nicely taking that out, and right now in the core, I mean, this opening so far is looking amazing.
It's looking fantastic because he not only took out the Infernos, both sweepers, the last Inferno should go down to the boots, yes, but he also triggered the Tornado Trap. The Royal Champion won't be able to grab the Town Hall, but I don't think he was expecting to even get that close to it, but it seems like there's nothing left.
Yeah, really, really great job of pushing that Royal Champion in the right direction. Such a nice call there. And now we have the Dragons from this top side. Something which I've experienced as well with playing the Dragons quite a bit is the Rage Tome is, I don't know, for me the Rage Gem a lot of times is just missing the power because the Healing Tome provides so much more hit point recovery, and with having the Town Hall dealing so much splash damage, it just feels like the Dragons disappeared way too quick. And take a look at that, Carbon. They were not even able to crush the first wall, and they're already like mostly gone.
Wow, the air defense of the top side stays up. Did go with the Super Dragon outside with that blimp to the left, but the air defense absolutely shredded all those dragons, shredded the baby dragon, and where did it all go? He's got a rage still left to use, but everything just faded so quickly. And if you don't pick off those air defenses, those dragons just don't stand a chance.
Yeah, and just the splash of the Town Hall. I feel like a lot of people underestimate that with how much splash the Town Hall can really do. Because remember, all of those defenses are having a multiplayer player of 20% more damage. And that in the splash way on how the Town Hall is working on Town Hall 17, it's just so scary. And this is why I always like to use the Healing Tome. It is really interesting. I think already the next attack is happening.
Yeah.
So let's hope that we can jump in there as quickly as possible, as the last couple of percentage points are getting picked up in this one. But it's going to fall short. Na'Vi is going to finish on 10 stars. And with that, it only means that they're tying up versus Dizzy Group, while Dizzy is apparently already within their next attack.
Yeah, they're in the next one, so all they gotta do is get a single star, and they are victorious. And that will wrap it up there in this match and send Na'Vi down to the lower bracket. And oh man, unfortunate there for Na'Vi, the performance. The moment the 1-star comes in, you can just feel their hearts sink. And they just would have no chance to try to come back after their opponent is delivering 3 stars. So here it is, the final attack that is coming in now for Dizzy Group to lock this one up, get that single star, and you were advancing to take on the other Dizzy team.
Yeah, there's a lot of Dizzy teams in this stage of the tournament, so they have to face off against each other. That will be an intense match for sure, as this one, as long as he's getting 1 star, they are good to go. But I'm pretty sure that they're aiming for more, trying to make sure that they're getting as close as possible to the 3-star, and as well collecting as much momentum as possible, right? Because they're having to face a tough opponent within their sister clan.
Yeah, with now these Root Riders pathing straight to the core, pulling the Gigabomb, but luckily the healers are there to heal them back up, but there's probably a lot of red air bombs waiting for them as they pass. There it is. Oh, there's the first layer. There's gotta be more. These healers are gonna, oh, bye-bye healers. They are all gone as he tries to continue through, but it doesn't matter at this point. He's locked up the star. He's added a 2nd star on top of that, and Dizzy Group will be winning this match, taking down Na'Vi with a score of at least 12-10, and just wasn't Na'Vi's match here. They don't want me to say it wasn't their day, because if that's the case, then that means they would potentially lose their next one, which if they do lose the next one in the lower bracket, then that means they would be eliminated, as we are indeed going to be eliminating 2 teams here today, and then we'll find out who gets that golden ticket tomorrow to play in the Clash of Clans World Championship later this year.
Yeah, it will be. I mean, we all hope for that Navi can somehow turn things around when playing later today and somehow make a better performance. I feel like 11 stars would be still solid without the 1 star, but at this stage, it's just there are so many good teams. There's so many good teams in this competition that 11 stars is not the safest call for the win. In fact, 12 stars seems to be the name of the game for those winning teams right now, but we will see. Right now, though, Dizzy Group with the incredible win over Navi for this upper bracket match, and this means they were crushing it, left and right, solid start, solid like follow-up attacks, and then in the end, just playing it safe.
And that proves the teams that came through the upper bracket in the qualifiers have been the strongest. Navi, they made it from the lower bracket, which means they got sent down, they lost. But the very first team to win, which was earlier, which was Dizzy, they won and they made it through the upper bracket, didn't lose. The next team here that wins is Dizzy Group. They look solid and they're going to be facing each other in the next match. So Dizzy versus Dizzy Group. And that means Navi going down to the lower bracket. It's going to be a tough run, but we've seen teams do it. It was last year at Synchronic, actually, we saw them able to do